Bottom right-hand side, our blue Zerg player in game number 1 of this best of 3 from the WardiTV Spring Championship group stage. It is RagnaroK. Taking on the red Terran in the top left-hand side. This is TY. And hey, what's up, Black Jakku coming in with the Twitch Prime sub as well. Thank you so much also. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the supporting the stream here today. As we get ourselves up and get ourselves running. Bit of TvZ. We started the day off with 4 TvZs back to back, and they were all pretty great. Hoping for something similar out of this series here as well. Especially with this game 1 on Nightshade. We all know TY on Night... Well, any Terran on Nightshade generally has a good time, but the... But RagnaroK's actually had some good games on Nightshade recently. And just to reinforce where we're at in this group for these 2 players, by the way. So, a quick result from a series we're not going to cast. RagnaroK did beat Solar 2-0. So RagnaroK is 2-4. A win here for him would put him 3-4, tied with Innovation. And it would put TY, a win for TY 2-1. He would go 3-1. Obviously, a loss for him would be 2-2. Basically, I think for RagnaroK, you lose this, you've got a very good chance of being eliminated. You win this, you've got a very good chance of still making it through this group. So that's where we are at the moment. As we do have our Reaper starting to make its way down the bottom right side. Fueling's obviously going to come down and get going. As a third CC starts up from TY in the main. We've talked about this a lot today as well. A lot of these Terrans going for this very economic focused 3CC build. And we're going to see it once again now from TY. As this factory lifts off and comes over to take a reactor from the racks in a few moments. Starport in the main as well. And the Reaper coming down the bottom side. The Reaper out in the center. Link speed about halfway done. Couple of Hellions building on the factory. And the extra drones just building at the moment. So nothing too crazy early on. Obviously with the 3CC, you're generally expecting TY to sit back a little bit. You can absolutely still go for the Cloak Banshees and use those defensively, aggressively, and well, just use Cloak Banshees as per usual. But of course it is just a little slow on everything that gets aggressive from TY. So you'll see that creep spread getting a bit further forwards here from RagnaroK. You'll see him getting a few more drones out. Doesn't need to make as many lings. All of those kind of things. Should be very safe here. In the near future, as a Queen comes in, a couple of Hellions and a Reaper getting pushed away over to the left side. This Queen around the bottom. And he gets some shots off. A couple of drones jumping onto the mineral line there. And the Hellions and the Reaper back around in the center as the single Queen comes through. And whoop, Reaper is going to get caught by the Zerglings. So Ling is able to grab that as the orbital command will be finishing from TY in the main base. Again, up to 3 CCs. And again, a couple extra Hellions, Banshee, all of this continue to build. The Lair on the way up from RagnaroK in the main, with the 2 Hellions of TY continuing across, back up to the top left, joining up with a couple of Marines, joining up with a couple of the Hellions, the stim pack of TY in the main base as well. Barracks will be dropping down. It's going to make it 3 racks here in total, and the Banshee of TY will be out in the center. A couple of Marines will press forwards and go in after this Overlord. So Overlord already taking some damage here. As you see the rest of the Hellions in the top side of this also. And the Marines just going to work their way through this Overlord. So Overlord will go down. And again, a couple of extra evolution chambers from RagnaroK in the main base. There's Hellions, Marines, all setting up and heading across the map. The Spire setting up from RagnaroK as well, so already getting that Spire underway. The Stimpack about halfway along. The starport will take off and go over to the reactor here. As these Hellions come around down the bottom. A few drones already picked away at. And these Zerglings trying to get in on top of these Hellions. Well, the Zergling's actually taking a beating. Every time they come in, they're just taking a lot of damage. TY is going to get himself a lot of Lings plus 7 drones already, and he's not done yet. 10 workers, and he is done now, but he gets out with 5 Hellions alive, so he even keeps some Hellions up to keep control of the creep. Keeps some Hellions up to keep himself safe from a Ling Flood after counterattack. Well, I mean, that's just fantastic. What is interesting is this is just one Cloakless Banshee, and then he actually went into a Raven. So now he has a Raven on the map, and he can use that to clean up some creep as well a little bit later on. It's what everybody in Twitch chat always yells for. Just make a Raven! Well, TY did just make a Raven, guys, so we'll see how well this plays out as the 3rd CC will move over to the right. I do kind of, if you ever do build a Raven, I gotta say, maybe this is the scenario to do it in, where you are a bit slow to get out and clean up the creep spread initially because you are 3 CC. Maybe makes sense. Problem is keeping this Raven alive against the Mutalisks. That's going to be a challenge. And it looks like TY doesn't even have intentions of making this Raven to clean up creep spread. He's using this to come down the bottom side and make his way across, get some auto turrets down, deal some damage in the mineral lines. So yeah, it's kind of funny because this is not, I think, what most people would expect a Raven to be for in TvZ. But it absolutely is what the Raven's going to be used for, as it will have an auto turret into the back of the 3rd base here. And he's actually just going to double auto turret there, and RagnaroK will lose a few drones. So 4 workers, 5 workers already down. Meters in the middle. Actually, with the Lings, will intercept this drop, and they'll be able to chase. Nice, just got the boost back to lift up and evacuate. A few more Marines coming forwards, and that will be enough to scare the Mutalisks away. And as 1-1 finishes, combat shields will be done too, so that's the general idea of the timing right now. The Mutas should go and deny this Raven, which on 7 kills we'll get 1 more auto turret down. This time RagnaroK is watching for it, but needs to make sure he doesn't lose the Queen. Pulls it back, and that is a cleanup. And that will be that. I think he just got 1 more drone, but still. At the end of the day, really nice harassment here from TY. Putting him into a good lead early, as the 1-1 upgrades are now done. And look at this, still 0-0 for RagnaroK as well, as TY starts to come around. Making his way over to the right-hand side. He takes this backward base, so it looks as though he doesn't really have intentions of pushing aggressively and staying aggressive. He'll build a 4th base, take that in the forward position, as he already is going to get himself sieged up to push the 4th base of RagnaroK. So RagnaroK's 4th is just in trouble here. Banes are morphing, but they're not going to be done yet. And they don't even have Baneling speed, so I think you just lose the 4th base no matter what. That 4th base will indeed go down. So the 4th base lost. Marines, couple of tanks pulling back. Mutalisks of RagnaroK will go up the left-hand side and go through. A couple of engineering bays in some trouble. A few Marines stemming around down the bottom left. And a couple extra creep teamers just being picked away at now. So a couple more creep teamers going down as we do see the Zerglings running in for a surround. Marines are going to get lifted up. We're just going to be seeing those Banelings back out in the front and taking some more damage as well. Adrenaline close about to be finishing. Muta's going to pick off a siege tank already. Marines will be back, and yeah, just coming back over on the right. The Mutalisks out over to the left as the factory about to finish up from TY in the main base. And more Marines just run into the left-hand side, pushing Mutalisks back very quickly, not really messing around there. Just deflecting these Mutas from being able to do too much else. Vehicle plating on the armory. 2 upgrades, plus 2 million, plus 1 carapace. All the upgrades coming in. But I tell you what, killing the 4th base off it obviously gives TY a good lead. He's not really pushing to take advantage of it further just yet. Being very patient, sitting back and just letting this go on a little while. Happy to say, well, you know what, I've got a lead, yes, but is this lead really going to disappear if I don't attack in the next 10 seconds? No. And I can wait for the 2 upgrades to come in. This is very reminiscent of when Sue picked off TY's upgrade earlier in the game, but this time he does keep it alive. Engineering bay is just in the exact same place. As the Mutas. Well, the Muta Cloud is going to be one of the ways back in the game for RagnaroK. If there's any way back in, it's probably from the Mutalisks having a very good time, harassing the Terran, dealing a lot of counter damage, keeping the Terran pulled back and away from fights. It's very hard to do on Nightshade because of the way the map works and the way the pushes work and how you can pull back as a Terran to deal with Mutas, then re-engage across the map so soon afterward. But it is looking like that's the one hope for RagnaroK here, because he's also going to be very slow on going in towards Hive or anything, so I don't think necessarily just rushing to ultras and hoping they are going to do anything is going to help. I think this has to just be a Mutalisk based comeback in this game with the Mutaling Bane as the main composition. Our Marines unloading and just seeing the well, tank firing. Creep Teamer gets picked off as the Marines continue forwards, and a couple more meters getting taken down. Fire continue to press forwards, and just going to be seeing the free ball being cleaned out. Here we go with Lings and Banes on the left. 2-2 now done from TY, hence the decision to start fighting, in case you're wondering why now compared to before. So yeah, he's just done with his 2-2 upgrades, and that's generally a good time to try and fight. He was on a upgrade advantage going into this little skirmish. Here come our meters though, and like I said, I think they absolutely have to be counterattacking throughout this, and absolutely have to be the way back in for RagnaroK if there is a way back in. 3 medevacs though in the natural expansion, and RagnaroK is going to lose a Spore Crawler, is going to lose a lot of the Zerglings which run in to fight this. I mean, this doesn't even get cleaned up, it just lifts away because the Banelings are starting to get close. Look at the creep spread. I mean, what creep spread, you might ask, because really, there isn't that much creep spread at all here. Push back from the middle of the map altogether. This is the best creep we've got on the map, and it's in front of a base that doesn't even exist right now. When those medevacs go down, the Mutalisk able to pick them off is a great shutdown. Nice kill for RagnaroK. Maybe A shuts down, I guess, the Terran aggression, and B... So A shuts down that, and B obviously gives you just a better time otherwise, because now there's some free unit kills, and you definitely need something to bounce back from the damage it dealt. TY gets rid of a few Banelings at the front here. The Marauder front line, scary. The Marines behind it starting to deal a lot of the damage. The Marauder's just clogging up the Banelings. The Thors here trying to help out with the Mutalisks. We will see the Banes able to push through in the end though, but even more Marines showing up. Widow Mines will get thorough, but they get killed before they fire. So RagnaroK will come on a push across the map, and toward a planetary fortress, the Widow Mines will turn it away. Couple more Widow Mines unloading, and the Zerg forces of RagnaroK back out into the center of the map. 3-3 from TY, still building up here, +2 vehicle plating coming in as well. Couple extra medevacs, the Thor. All of this on the way out, as the Hive is going to be on the way in the main base. So RagnaroK now has seemingly done enough where he's comfortable to move in towards the Hive, which is, I think, very exciting. Mutalisk coming around the center, picks off a Widow Mine, gets a second. Couple extra Thor shots going in on those Mutalisks there as they'll pull back down the bottom right. But yeah, nice to get rid of a few Widow Mines, and I feel like RagnaroK's really going to draw this game out into something that could, well, maybe take a little while. It is out around to the left as we do see another command center from TY dropping down. I mean, that's the thing, TY is on 5 bases. TY has got a lot of economy here. TY is about to lose his +3 attack upgrade. Hey, these engineering bases, they suck. This is like as stupid as the Zergs building the Evo chambers on the 3rd base. I had a discussion about this the other day with some people, and it was kind of me and Roddy actually talked about it on the Red Bull stream. But Zergs keep building their Evos on the 3rd base, and it's just bad because they keep dying. These engineering bases are the exact same story. They're just prime targets for meters. Again, it's a bit of a 50-50 which one you kill and if you get the attack or the armor upgrade, but that's twice now, today, that TY has lost his attack upgrade. And the attack upgrade is the one you'd rather have. If it was between attack and armor, you take attack every time as a Terran player. And here we go, Banelings are rolling forwards. Has to split a few forwards just in case of further Widow Mines. Widow Mine, the one that remains, is going to unburrow, so it will not go off on anything ineffectively. Only really Marauders at the front, so now the Lings are left to go and deal some damage. I'd say that was a split away, but actually just moved all the Lings away together and kept them clumped up, so the Widow Mine still did kind of a lot, as we do see these Mutalisks take a little while to get rid of these missile turrets. This one on the left side stays alive. He's just trying to deal even more damage, trying to keep the 5th base from mining, trying to keep RagnaroK in the economy game as the Banes go rolling forwards. They're going to get up this ramp. Widow Mine here was not ready just yet. It will get some connections off. Kills off the next Widow Mine. Well, good splits from TY on the left side. The Lings getting rid of the Thors in the front. No saving from the medevacs. As we do see the Mutalisks on the way back home because there's a drop in the main. TY trying to return the favor on the upgrade denial, and he gets it. +3 melee. Just started, so not that serious, but of course still late compared to the 3-3 of the Terran. It's actually going to give the Terran a faster attack upgrade. As you see, Lings and Banes pushing through, and the Mutalisks giving chase. I mean, there's a lot of medevacs. he can actually overwhelm on the ground here. Then the Medivacs gets killed by these Mutalisks. And that's obviously big pickoffs here right now as the Zerg is just going to continue forwards. Thor already going down in this. So now the Mutalisks are maybe unchallenged, but the Lings are all gone. And without the Lings here, the Marines on the ground will be able to push those Mutas back as well. Changelings in the center. We do see a hatch bottom left, a hatch far right. More Mutalisks going around the side, and extra Banelings still morphing in. Ultralisk Cavern is about to complete. And with that Ultralisk Cavern completed, we do see the extra Banelings just morphing. 25 of them on the way through here. The Bio Army of TY down to the bottom left. Mutalisks see the Medivac. It sees them. And the Medivac is going to boost out of there. Does not want to be killed off. Knows for a fact that's what's going to happen. There's no two ways about it. Man, for TY having such a lead early, RagnaroK really brought himself back in. There's only a 3,000 resource loss difference. In TvZ, that is concerning. You can see the income graph. This is where RagnaroK was behind. He was not really ahead on income even, but recently kind of getting there. Banes roll by and kill 13 SCVs, so just as TY starts to fight back, he'll take some big hits. Try and get rid of some of this creep on the bottom side. Maybe to get a push towards this base. And he's already got a lot of the creep on this high ground gotten rid of. So I think if that's already done, I think that's your pushing position. I don't think you need to worry about the bottom side creep. You've already done the hard work of pushing this creep back and not letting the Zerg re-establish it. Why start again in a different direction? I just don't think it gives you anything, right? As Marines in the top right are fighting some of the Banes here. TY just going to try and split and make this as effective as possible. I mean, the Banes will clean up. As the Mutas, well, they help out with the Medivacs in the sky. Still a bit of bio pressing down the south. There's a couple extra Banes going down. More drones in trouble. This hatchery in trouble as well. Is going to fall in a moment or two. So hatchery will drop as all of these drones getting absolutely shut down at the moment. Thor's getting in there and having a good time as well. Mutas jumping over the other side, jumping in on top of a missile turret. $22 drones, 22 SCVs. Both players taking big economic damage here. 18 minutes into Nightshade. As Mutas go back down the right side. A hatchery builds in the top right corner. Lings setting up. Two more Ultras, Lings, Banes. Viper and a +3 melee upgrade all underway. Is now Mutalisks are going to go through the center of the map. A lot of army pressing down here from TY. Going to get rid of a few creep teamers already. His Ling's already pulling across. The Baneling picks off two. TY just continuing to redirect his attention now, I guess, after killing off the bottom side base. Going to go for the right side. Mutas over here, though, with a few Banes to help out. And he will get rid of this left side planetary fortress to TY. Really is struggling a bit for bases, too. Important, I think, to get damage done on this right side. And Slings and Banes are going to come rolling into this. But Wooden Mine shots going off. The Banes continue to crash on in. We're just going to see the rest of the bio still stimming forwards here. RagnaroK pushing through. Ultralisk is doing quite a bit. Now the middle is showing up, but it's against two Thors and some Marines still left over. He will get them. And this then will be a cleanup, including the Medivacs. Both players losing a lot. 145, 122 supply. RagnaroK leading slightly. As there's a couple of... Okay, that just changed lanes. Down here is a couple of Wooden Mines that are left behind. Remnants of a previous fight. Yeah, good point in the chat. +3 melee is about to finish, but where's the adrenal glands? Didn't start it up at all, so absolutely something that RagnaroK is missing out on. Just to make those Lings that little bit more effective. As TY goes running in towards the top right side. Not sure how much the Lings really matter here, though. I feel like this is a game... I think the Lings matter a lot for run-bys, etc., but I think in fights like this, where it's mostly the Banelings, don't get me wrong, adrenal glands would help. But maybe now. There's actually a lot of Lings now, so maybe more now than before. Mutalisks will come running down the left. And we'll be out on the bottom. A hatchery building up and a few more Ultras just building from RagnaroK to join up. Of course, there's not really much of a response to this from TY. He's gotten to 3 factories. This was something I think he did a bit earlier again as well against Sue. When he saw the Ultras, he went for a 3rd factory and just ramped up mine production. It's a very weird way to try and do this rather than trying to get to Ghost. I know this is obviously a scrappy game, but try and play 3 factories in general is just not really the norm. Not sure if he really needs them as well, right? Anyways, you see supplies are dead even, 150 apiece. Slightly larger army supply for TUI, maybe a slightly better army composition for RagnaroK with these ultras joined in. Doesn't really have the creep to go fighting here. We've got a fight between 2 bases that are on the same screen as each other. That's how close they are. TUI expanding forwards. RagnaroK's been holding this base for a good long while. Flings wanting to run into that there, but decided not to. And now they kind of will. Baneling gets in. A few Marines go down. The rest of TUI's army continues forwards. A couple more Zerglings. Trying to push in the middle. Let's pull back to the right once again. The Bio Forces are coming through, and the hatchery taking a few more shots. Baneling's looking for the connection. Not finding it just yet. All of these Banes running through. The Mutas overhead. The Ultras on the ground. Bio army splits up in all sorts of different ways. As Lings, Ultras, Mutas still pushing through. RagnaroK, do you have enough here? We're going to keep on chasing. The Mutas might just overwhelm the sky. I tell you what, these Mutas have had a crazy game. I feel like each of these Mutas, I'm just clicking through them. 5, 7, 8, 11, 2, 5 kills. It's crazy. These Mutas have been alive so long. GG from TY. He's been broken. He lost 27 Mutas this game, but I really feel like he's kept a consistent amount of them up. And that constant output from RagnaroK has been a reason he's been able to make this happen. What a turnaround, and RagnaroK will end up taking game number 1. Wow, if the rest of this best of 3 looks like this, we're in luck. As we go into it, in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player, upper map, is RagnaroK. And Zen for map number 2. As in the top right, our red Terran is TY. Well, second map of the best of 3 as we set up, get going. Racks down on the south, the second racks will start. So 2 barracks together here from TY. There's going to be Reapers. You don't proxy racks here if you're going to build Marines. RagnaroK is on his way. Just like his overlords are like a magnet to proxy barracks. No! No! Well, talk about a caster curse. Oh my goodness. That is, oh, he sees the SCV though. Okay, but it's so late to see it now, right? If you see this now, you can't pull SCVs or you can't pull drones or anything against this. So, yeah, the thing is, he does know, of course, that this should be Reapers. Again, you just don't proxy Marines down here. It just doesn't work. As you see the bunker coming up to the front, and the Overlord still just watching here. Bunker will probably get up at the front then. Rotoron drops down right away, so that's going to be his way to try and defend this as these Reapers start to jump up into the main base. Like I say, I think it's just too late to really make too much of a difference on the scout. I guess the Rotoron starts a bit sooner, so I guess that is nice, as he doesn't have anything to do with that drone. Could have built a Spore Crawler, he didn't, and it does just go down, unfortunately, as this one drone here is very low, and that's going to be one to watch. There's a grenade, drops down, Reaper drops back up. Bit of back and forth. There's a couple of Reapers here from TY going to be finishing on the bottom bunker. Set up on the low ground as well. The Reapers will jump into that and start to pick their way through. Well, I thought through the hatchery, but actually, Reapers will come up and kill off the couple of Zerglings already. So a couple of Lings going down. And there's going to be already a Reaper still in here. They chase forwards, and the Queen's taking a lot of damage. Obviously, this gets a little bit nicer for RagnaroK very soon, because he is going to have Roaches to help. And kills off 1, 2 Reapers. Good connections there. Of course, as well, the Reapers, they transition very badly because you're investing a lot of gas into those Reapers. So the CC, very delayed. Factory, delayed. And so it's just very expensive compared to like a 2-Rax Marine proxy. So you don't transition as well. So it is I kind of think it's okay at the moment here for RagnaroK. He has delayed this in the end and pushed it back. Bunker on this high ground, so I'm not sure how much these roaches on the counter will try and do. Even if they just get rid of a couple supply depots, though, it might be nice. Cyclone on the way. It's only 3 units across the map. He's left a lot of roaches at home, defending against what might be Reapers just continuing through if he isn't careful. So, being cautious about that. Probably the right way to approach it. So yeah, RagnaroK will not be able to do too much damage. Obviously, the Cyclone dropping in behind this as well. So the Cyclone is going to be done in just a few moments. The starport and 2 more barracks will drop down. As the Reapers are out over the left-hand side. Circling speed on the spawning pool. And again, a couple of roaches and a queen out the front, pushing those Reapers away. And as we do just have the Cyclone underway, building up. Starport dropping down. On the right side, this Cyclone getting a lock on is going to be able to clean out the Overlord. So RagnaroK gets a little bit supply blocked. And all of these Reapers continuing down the left side. A couple of roaches and a Ravager immediately in position, as you do see a Reaper picked off from the start. Medevac coming up, the Cyclone now out. It's 2 Cyclones down the front as the Reapers go back up in towards the natural expansion. Of course, CC from TY is not done yet. It's still just morphing into the orbital. He did start with the 3rd base, so ready to move into 3 command centers as RagnaroK holds out on the left-hand side with the hatchery. A couple of racks pulling back up the right, and just going to see a supply depot dropping down. It's going to be walling off just a little bit as the couple of Cyclones will start to press forwards in the medevac. So a little bit of harassment here from TY. Can actually be pretty effective. You can actually get rid of a few overlords on the map. You can actually get rid of a few units here and there. So I think in general this is a fairly well set up little movement across. So you have the Banshee, the Cloak coming through, the Siege Tank setting up from TY. Marines already building in this main base. As the Reapers come down into the middle. Cyclone's going to be able to pick their way through this. The Overlord will go down. Now the Cyclone's jumping up into the main. The Lings coming through, getting a bit of a surround there. Cyclones are back down to the low ground, back across the bottom side. As the Reapers coming in, naturally taking some damage. Roaches and Ravagers of RagnaroK still collecting together on the left-hand side. Reapers of TY in the center. They're going to be finishing up on the main base. A couple of Overlords coming through. Lings still building, drones still coming up. Spire dropping down as well in the natural. As you do see the Cyclones getting a lock on here and already able to pick off the Overlord. Just to see the Roaches and Ravagers looking to fight this back. It's a very weird game, right? It feels like RagnaroK's in a bit of a weird spot. TY is in a weird spot. Upgrades are kind of all over the place. RagnaroK going to try with the Spire then. Mutalisks will be his way to the next stage of this, it would seem. As the 2 Cyclones up this right side, still in the medevac. As the 3rd CC of TY will move out and take position here pretty quickly. Spire is about halfway done, and a couple of drones picked off as the Queens push that Banshee away up the left side of this, and with the Evolution Chambers to follow, we do have the Roach Speed starting up. And again, Extractors coming down, Creep Spread still pushing out on the map. +1 attack, Stimpak coming through. 5 racks in total. I guess now TY is starting to get into a bit more of a stabilized, standardized position. I'm a little bit worried about these mutas. TY seems very aware of them. Missile turrets coming up. He's got a good marine count. It feels like these mutas are coming at the cost of so much else, right? I mean, upgrades late. Bane Nest so late. That's the big thing, I think. Usually if you go for these like faster mutas or the mutas before upgrades and so on, usually you're at least in a position where it's like, well, you have Bane speed. I mean, he has Roach speed and he has a couple of Roaches and Ravagers, but I'm not sure that really makes up for missing Baneling speed here. And if you don't have Baneling speed, usually at least you have the Lings to fight with 1/1 melee upgrades, and you know, that helps. So yeah, I'm not really convinced, especially with these Mutalisks coming across. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do anything because TY really feels like he has a good defense against Mutalisks. Gonna see a few meters across then, and well, really not doing much by losing a middle. There's a couple of SCVs shaved off, but TY about to get combat shields and +1 armor, and that might just be his time to just go and to see what he can do. Especially the combat shield upgrade, of course, a nice one to have in his addition. Man, the Reapers he kept alive all game have just come back in and they just found 4 kills. Plus a scout across the main and the natural, not much to really see, but still information to be gained. A couple more meters still on the way up. Our Marines and tanks in the middle of this, and just seeing TY out around this top side. Cyclone's able to get a couple of kills there as well, so it really feels like TY is the one that's always getting kills and getting something going his way. This is going to be so messy for RagnaroK. No Baneling speed. No Baneling speed, and his army just doesn't look good. Like, these Ravagers and Roaches look like they're going to do absolutely nothing. A couple of Cyclones in the front aren't exactly the most useful, but even those are sort of tanking some damage against some lock-ons. You just can't fight this without Bane speed. It finally finishes up, and RagnaroK will probably commit in. All the Banelings go down, and as the drones fall, it feels as though RagnaroK is likely to fall here as well. The meter's coming through, a couple of tanks being picked away at. 12 workers dead already, though. The reinforcements now coming through to deal with the mutalisks. And the rest of this army from TY pushing across the left side. RagnaroK will type out GG. And TY is going to take us to a game 3. Left side. Our blue Zerg player is RagnaroK. TY gonna send SCVs on the map. In the top right, our red Terran is TY. SCVs are marching, and away we go. So 2 SCVs through the center here, and obviously just proxied Reapers in the last game, looking to proxy Marines this game. Let's see if he's going to come around towards the watchtower, so let's have the racks there. This Overlord obviously out to the right, the other Overlord to the far right as TY drop a racks. Oh no. No, this is so bad for TY. Drone comes so early, is going to see this right away. Now you pull more drones, and this might just be a denial on the barracks. I mean, the fact you scout this with a drone right away is important, because that means that already you're going to get some damage onto the SCV. You've denied one of the barracks. He's already denied 1 racks, and now the second SCV is in trouble. More SCVs being pulled across the map, but there's more drones here. Game's over. RagnaroK takes this down 2-1. The scout with the... What a drone scout that is. What a drone scout that is. To check the watchtower. RagnaroK takes it 2-1 over TY. Bit of an anticlimactic game number 3. Oh, what an intro. I'm just like, oh my god, Eternal Empire, we're going to be here for days. And then and then that happened. Damn. GG's. RagnaroK takes it 2-1, wraps this up against TY. And that is going to be him picking up another win in the WardiTV Spring Championship.